So what's the one skill that can seriously make or break your career no matter what you do? I'll give you a hint. It's not what you think. It's all about how you communicate internally. Today, we are going to break down the art of internal correspondence. The emails and messages that really truly drive your success at work. Let's get into it.
Okay, be honest. Has this ever happened to you? You craft an email, you think it's crystal clear, you hit send, and then you find out it just caused a whole lot of confusion? We've all been there. It's a universal workplace headache, but the good news is it's totally fixable.
So what are we even talking about when we say internal correspondence? Well, put simply, it's all the ways we talk to each other inside a company. It's the emails, the memos, the Slack messages. It's basically the entire nervous system of an organization. And because this info is for internal eyes only, the stakes for getting it right are, pretty darn high.
So here's our game plan. First up, we'll talk about why this is such a lifeline at work. Then, we're going to map out how information actually flows inside a company. From there, we'll get our hands dirty with the practical stuff, how to give information and instructions clearly. We'll also get into mastering your tone, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple blueprint you can literally start using today.
All right, let's start with the big so what. Why does any of this matter so much? Well, because good internal communication isn't just about sending messages. It's the engine that actually makes things happen.
I mean, just think about your day-to-day work. Sending a quick project update, asking a colleague for info. Heck, even applying for that internal promotion you want, it all happens through writing. Your ability to do this well is the absolute backbone of not just your team's success, but your own career too.
Okay, so before you even think about typing a single word, you've got to know the rules of the road. And the number one rule is this: who you're writing to completely changes how you should write. And, the easiest way to picture this is to think of your company like a pyramid. You've got the execs up at the top, managers in the middle, and then all the employees at the base. Just knowing where your message starts and where it's going on this pyramid, that's going to shape your whole approach.
So this chart breaks it down perfectly. You've got three main directions. First, there's upward communication. That's you talking to your boss. Think progress reports or feedback. Then you've got downward. That's leadership talking to everybody else, like a big company announcement. And finally, lateral. That's you talking to your colleagues, the real lifeblood of teamwork. Here's the main thing to remember. Before you write anything, just ask yourself, which way is this message flowing?
All right, now that we've got the map, let's talk about the actual driving. We'll start with the most common email you'll ever write, the one where your only job is to share information clearly.
It's a super simple 4-step formula that just works. Step 1, start with a professional greeting. Step 2, get right to the point in your very first sentence. No fluff, please. Step 3, the body. This is where you put only the essential facts, nothing more. And finally, step 4, a helpful professional closing. That's it.
And here's what that looks like in the wild. This example is just perfect. It's friendly, it tells you who's talking, and bam, it gets straight to the point. The person reading this knows exactly what it's about in like 3 seconds. That's what clarity looks like.
And check this out. This full email is a total masterclass in putting all the pieces together. The tone is warm, but it's still professional. It uses simple language. It follows that 4-step structure we just talked about perfectly. This is the kind of email people are actually happy to get. It gets read, it gets understood, and it's appreciated.
And hey, when you get to the end, don't just stop. Using a clear, helpful closing phrase like one of these really shows you're a professional and you're easy to work with. You're going to want to keep these in your back pocket.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What happens when your email isn't just to inform someone, but to get them to actually do something? Well, that needs a slightly different playbook.
With instructions, you have one job, and one job only: to eliminate every single possible point of confusion. Success isn't just getting the thing done, it's getting it done right the very first time without a single confused follow-up email.
So, here are some pro tips to make your instructions totally foolproof. Always list your steps in order. Have someone else read it over. A fresh pair of eyes can spot confusing parts you'd never see. Use pictures or screenshots when you can. Seriously, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And especially now, with so many of us working remotely, make sure they know exactly who to call if they get stuck.
So we've covered what to say and how to structure it, but the final piece of the puzzle, the thing that takes an email from just good to great, is mastering your tone.
It's wild when you stop and think about it, right? You can write the exact same sentence, and it can sound helpful or demanding, collaborative or condescending. It all comes down to tone. And in writing, where you don't have body language or inflection, your word choice is literally everything.
Now, this slide shows one of the most powerful tools for getting your tone right, using the active voice. Just listen to the difference. In passive voice, the new procedure was developed by the operations team. Kind of sleepy, right? Now, active voice. The operations team developed the new procedure. See that? It's direct, it's confident, it's so much clearer. As a general rule, you always want to go for the active voice.
But, and this is a really big but, the passive voice has a secret superpower, and that superpower is diplomacy. Think about it. You lost the shipment sounds like an accusation. It immediately puts someone on the defensive. But saying, the shipment was lost? That's not about blame. It's about the problem. It shifts the focus from the person to the situation itself. It's a subtle change, but man, is it a powerful tool for tricky situations.
Okay, that was a lot, I know. So let's boil it all down into a simple, powerful blueprint that you can walk away with and start using right now.
It really just comes down to these three things. Number 1, map the flow. Always know who you're talking to. Number 2, structure your message with a clear purpose. Are you trying to inform or instruct? And number 3, master your tone. Be direct, be clear, and use your voice on purpose.
And that's a wrap. But I want to leave you with one final thought. Think about your to-do list right now. What's one email you have to send today? How can you use these principles to make it the clearest, most effective message you've written all week? Go give it a shot.